What happens when you realize that your old dream is no longer serving you? What did you dream about as a kid? I remember when I was really young, one of my favorite books was an atlas. I used to look at maps, plan imaginary trips, and dream of traveling. And it's kind of funny to think about it now. It was always in me ever since I was a kid. But when I arrived in Hanoi after traveling full-time for so long, I didn't understand what was wrong with me. I was exhausted, I felt burnout, but at the same time, I was living my dream, right? I know that so many people dream of this lifestyle like I did back in the days. So I just told myself that I needed to work on gratitude and appreciate what I have, and everything will be fine. But deep inside, I knew that something was wrong. Very wrong, and that I needed to slow down. So I decided to take a break in Hanoi, one of the most chaotic places on earth. What I thought would be a quick break turned into weeks and ended up being much more serious than I expected.
What I really found out traveling over these last couple of months is that the key to successful long-term travel is taking breaks. So this is what we're doing today. We're taking a break and we're getting our life together. I'm getting my life together because I really do need that.
Luckily, moving between 5 different countries in the last decade taught me a lot about making myself feel comfortable wherever I go. So I knew exactly what I needed to do in order to feel like myself again.
It is a bit of a gloomy morning here in Hanoi, but so far with my experience with Hanoi is that it's gloomy here most of the time, or a lot of the time. So the first stop of the day is gonna be coffee, obviously, because coffee is, you guessed it, life. Especially here in Vietnam. Here coffee really is life. I mean, Vietnamese coffee is probably some of the best coffee in the whole entire world. It's so strong, it's so good. Not gonna lie, I probably shouldn't have more because I already had a couple of cups this morning. I mean, I wouldn't be able to talk if I wouldn't have coffee, so I shouldn't have it, but I want it, so I will get it. They asked me if I want to try their banana coffee, and I said yes, which I might regret, I don't know, banana coffee. They do have a lot of like different kinds of coffee here. I already tried egg coffee, so I was like, it might be adventurous again, right? Where is the banana in it? I wonder. I don't know. Maybe the foam is banana. Actually quite good, to be honest. I like it more than egg coffee. There are basically 3 things I want to do here in Hanoi. Number 1 is to focus on exercising, because that's like the simple rule of life for me. If I want to feel good, if I want to get my life back together, I need to move, I need to exercise. That's what makes me feel good. And number 2 is to catch up on work. I need to make a solid plan and edit those videos. And number 3, it's not something I have to do, but more something I want to do. I want to make like my little Hanoi routine here, you know? I want to go to the same grocery shop every day. I want to go running every day, and not necessarily go to see the train street, whatever the place is called. I mean, I've been in Hanoi for a week now and I haven't seen that street. I will see it, okay? We're not totally uncultured on this channel. I will eventually see it. I will have like one sightseeing day where I go to see all the popular sites of Hanoi. I'm not saying that I don't want to see them, no.
A big part of being comfortable and feeling at home when I travel is being able to use my phone exactly the way I would at home. So having access to data so I can get on a call whenever I want to, or just use my navigation. So thank you to Arla for partnering with me on this part of the video. Arla eSIM are digital SIM cards which allow you to get rid of the hassle of buying and using traditional physical SIM cards. The best part about it is that you no longer have to buy a physical SIM card when you land in a new country. With Arla, all you have to do is download Arla app, and you can do that before you arrive at your destination. Choose an eSIM plan. They cover more than 200 countries and different regions, and activate your eSIM after you land, and you're good to go. And this basically allows you to be connected from the moment you arrive in a new country and not worry about finding a place to buy a local physical SIM card. And also, you get rid of the biggest nightmare of every traveler, which is constantly switching SIM cards and worrying about losing your own.
The way it works for me is that when I travel for for a long time, I do need to take breaks. I need to take breaks where I spend longer time in one place, where I take care of myself, where I catch up on work. However, the key to a successful break from traveling while you're traveling is to do it in a place you're familiar with. And that's also why I previously did it in Bangkok, and I stayed in the exact same place where I always used to live, and I went to the exact same supermarket, and you know, I had my routine, I went running a lot. And I wanted to do the same here in Hanoi, and obviously I don't know Hanoi anywhere as near as well as I know Bangkok. Obviously I lived in Bangkok and I haven't lived here, but that's also why I decided to come to Hanoi when I started traveling around Vietnam, because I really wanted to take my little break in a place where I have previously been to, so I knew that I had to pick a place where I will sort of like go to twice. And also I am staying in exact same place when I was previously in Hanoi. I actually have a friend who was originally from here, and I asked her what would be the best place for me where I can run. That was like my #1 criteria. So she said that West Lake could be a good area, and yes, it is. It is a great area. I really love it here. This is something I learned in China the very first time I moved to China, and I was young, I was far away from home for the very first time in my life. It was almost 10 years ago at this point. And the first time I left Shanghai and I came back, I realized that it helped me so much. I felt so much more at home in Shanghai after leaving and coming back. And at this point, I was not vibing with Shanghai at all. I did not like the city. I felt super overwhelmed. But that little weekend trip I went on, and just, leaving and then coming back to the city made me feel so much better. So that's what I do now. Every time I know that I need to find a place where I want to feel at home, at least a little bit at home. I mean, as much as you can feel at home in a foreign country, right? What I have to do is go there, leave, and come back again. So I do want to take you on a walk around my neighborhood. Also, I do want to eat. I found this really cute place the other day where I want to have lunch. As much as I do admit Hanoi is a crazy city, but the more time I spend here, the more I like this city. And I feel like it's like a rule of life, right? I mean, rule of life. I feel like I've learned this one expression and now I'm gonna use it in every single sentence. The same goes with cities and people. The more you know someone, the more you discover their different sides, the more you like them, right? And I feel like it's the same with cities. The more time I spend here, the more beauty I see in Hanoi. And the thing about beauty here in Hanoi, it's that it's often a bit of a less obvious beauty. It's like hidden beauty. I really find the everyday life scenes here in Hanoi really touching and really beautiful in a way. Just like neighbors chatting in front of their houses, or all these ladies biking around selling flowers. And I do really feel like Hanoi is a city with a lot of character and a lot of importance when it comes to community. You do see so many people hanging out together, sitting in front of their shops, or just sitting in those like tiny local restaurants. When you look around and when you start paying attention, there is so much life in this city. There's just so much going on everywhere you look. And I do find that beautiful. That's something I really like about Hanoi. And I think Hanoi is a city that you really need to digest slowly. You need to take your time. You need to not rush, be calm, just walk around slowly, try not to get hit by a motorbike while doing it. And I do think that my advantage is the fact that I'm here alone, because I can only imagine how hard it is to walk around Hanoi with a group of people where you have to like sort of, make sure that everyone is fine. Because the thing about walking around Hanoi is that it's very hard to walk because the whole sidewalk is basically blocked by things.
Even though Hanoi might seem a bit chaotic at first, and I mean, it is kind of chaotic, I still absolutely love this city. I always like big cities, and my time here made me realize that things were changing, that I was changing. I spend my time here creating my little Hanoi routine, working at coffee shops in the morning, exercising, and getting fruits from the same lady every day. And the more I was doing it, the more I realized how much I miss this.
So this place right there is where I've been getting my bread every day.
After all that traveling and excitement, all I was craving was routine and stability.
This is where I've been running in Hanoi. But normally you can actually see the other end. Like, it's really foggy right now, so
And I slowly started to realize that it might be time for a new chapter.